What's going on, guys? It's your boy CMB. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and let's get into this one really quickly. Now, guys, we're talking about the fight from this past weekend, the fight that was 4 years in the making. Of course, I'm talking about Canelo Alvarez versus his arch nemesis, Triple G Gennady Golovkin. Now, for those of you who don't know, Canelo Alvarez was victorious in the fight, winning a 12-round unanimous decision. But to be honest, guys, the fight was kind of lackluster, not living up to the expectations of a lot of the fans out here, as well as myself. I thought the fight would be a lot better. I thought, Triple G would put up more of a, better performance. If you guys didn't know, Triple G really looked his age in the fight last Saturday night, guys. He just looked like a shell of his former self. Just not having any offense, throwing a jab but not setting up any punches behind it. He looked like he was there just to collect a paycheck, guys, and just survive so he could get the paycheck. That's what it looked like. Now, Canelo Alvarez, even though he won the fight, the whole thing was leading up to the fight that he was looking to knock out Triple G in the fight. He talked about that a lot, getting him up out of there, building up to the fight. And he wasn't able to knock out Triple G. He wasn't even able to, drop Triple G even one time. And it wasn't for lack of trying. He did try his best, and it just was not clicking for him. So it got a lot of people to talking. Is Canelo Alvarez as good as he says he is? Maybe he's slipping. I've been hearing a lot of different scenarios and, people speculating about Canelo Alvarez. And let me say this, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Some of you guys probably heard that quote before. It's a Shakespeare quote, and that's the absolute truth. When you're seen, when you're the king of boxing, when you're looked at as the face of boxing, you're going to get a lot of criticism if you're not delivering great performances. We all know that he was defeated by Dimitri Bivol in a one-sided fight. Then he comes back. He does win this fight, but he doesn't look good doing it against a 40-year-old, unimpressive looking Triple G. And so, like I said, a lot of people are going to talk. I've seen him get criticized from some of the other boxers out here, some of the Hall of Famers. Will Marquez had some criticisms of him. I think Roberto Duran has some criticisms. And one in particular, Oscar De La Hoya, who used to promote Canelo Alvarez, really, went in on Canelo Alvarez. And I want to read his quote here. He says that the truth is everyone is afraid of speaking the truth. De La Hoya stated Sunday morning via social media, the fight was a effing dud. Triple G was old as F, and Canelo can't hold Bernard Hopkins' jockstrap. So there you have it, guys. Oscar De La Hoya really going in on Canelo Alvarez. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Oscar is, has sour grapes because he left Golden Boy. And that could be true, Yeah, I'm sure he does, have a little bit of sour grapes. His flagship fighter left, the stable. And at the same time, Oscar De La Hoya could have been thinking these things even with Canelo Alvarez being with Golden Boy. He was just reluctant to say it. Think about it. He's saying the truth is everyone's afraid of speaking the truth. Maybe he was one of those people that was afraid to speak the truth on how he actually felt about Canelo Alvarez. And now that, he's cut, Canelo's cut ties with him, he can speak freely about how he feels. Some people are going to agree with this. Some people are not. But here's the thing. Canelo Alvarez is seen as the face of boxing. And when you're an elite fighter like Canelo Alvarez, people, they're going to want to know what you're going to do for me now. They're not going to want to look at the past accolades. They want you to stay on top of your game. People are going to hold you to a higher standard. And that's with any fighter who's on top of their game. You have to be held to a higher standard because you are the man in the sport. And a lot of people are expecting him to rematch Bivol if he gets past Ramirez. A lot of people want him to fight David Benavidez, Jamal Charlo. These are the fights that people want to see Canelo Alvarez in. And, you know, he's got a big decision to make. Now, I know Canelo Alvarez, he said he, you know, had an injury. I think it was his left wrist. I think he had a cartilage tear. So he says he's probably not going to fight until possibly May of next year, or maybe even September. He wants to heal. He's been fighting a lot and he needs to rest, and that's perfectly understandable. But I did see when he was asked a question about David Benavidez, he got kind of upset about it. And, you know, he has to expect this. He said that, you know, Benavidez hasn't done anything but fought one champion. But David Benavidez is a two-time WBC middleweight, super middleweight champion, and he is the mandatory to Canelo Alvarez. So I wouldn't necessarily say he hasn't done anything. You know, he deserves a shot. And I think Canelo, being the champion, should give him the opportunity. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And this is what that means. You know, when you're on top, you know, you're going to deal with this type of stuff. But, you know, it's a two-way street. You know, if you want to be the best, if you want to be seen as the best, then you have to fight the best competition that's out there. So, and credit to Canelo, he said he's not afraid of anybody. He says he'll fight anyone. So I do want to be fair to Canelo. He did say that at the press conference when he was asked about David Benavidez. And I think he's a great fighter. I think, you know, when you're on top, you know, you just have to keep proving yourself over and over again. That's what makes you great. Fighting the best fighters, fighting the best competition that's out there. And, you know, that's just how I feel about it. Canelo Alvarez, you know, he's getting a lot of backlash. So I think he has a lot of work to do. I think he still needs to work on his footwork. I still think he needs to work on his stamina, add new wrinkles to the game. Possibly bring in, you know, another trainer to help with, you know, different things that he's not good at. You know, there's things that he's not good at. You know, a lot of times fighters, they'll be good at certain skill sets and lack in other things, and they won't work on the things that they're not good at. You know, they're constantly, you know, surviving off the things that they are good at. That, you know, sometimes you run into that one person that you need a different, you know, skill set to defeat. And, you know, you can't do it because you never concentrated on plugging those holes in your game. The footwork issue, the stamina stuff came back to bite him in the ass with Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol, slick fighter, on his toes, working behind his jab, throwing combinations, lightning, fast hands, guys. He just had Canelo's number. Canelo was not ready for a fighter like Bivol. Work on the things that you are lacking in. The same thing I said about Deontay Wilder. Having success with the right hand, winning fights with the right hand. But then when he ran into Tyson Fury, who was actually a masterful boxer, he couldn't do anything with him because he didn't have a plan B. And I think that's what Canelo Alvarez needs to work on, his plan B. So I don't know if he's slipping. I don't know if he's not as good as people say he is. We're just going to have to wait and see once he possibly gets this Bivol rematch, or possibly goes up against David Benavidez or Jamal Charlo or whoever it's going to be when he gets well. But you guys tell me what you think about Canelo's performance in this past fight. Do you think Canelo's slipping? Do you think Canelo's not as good as, you know, people have been saying he is? Or do you think he just needs to, you know, go back to the drawing board and work on, you know, some of the holes that he has in his game? Because every fighter has holes in their game. You guys let me know in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.